Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think we're back in. This live stream here, guys. Welcome to the show today. Double Check Effects Sports Code coming at you with another video today. That first attempt, thank you guys for letting me know there was no volume. I'm going to wait for people to enter first and see if indeed the volume is working. Just wanted to check in with you guys. Somebody give me the mic is working, just because, again, I think this is the first time I've used StreamYard, and I'm not the best at it yet, so I'm just learning. So somebody in the chat, just let me know if indeed this is working. Hope you guys are all having a great day. The title of this is Super Bowl LX. All right, Slick Nick, thank you. Audio is fine. Vegas dude, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys letting me know. I think I've seen you guys. Mic works. All right, this is great. Is it too loud? Just right? Just want to make sure it wasn't overpowering. Now it's a little, maybe too overpowering, so I don't want that to be too overpowering. So got a great one for us today. I think we're going to start trying to do a little bit more live streams lately. I think it's, the way of the future, right? I think took a long time off. It's been a good amount of time off. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, but it's good to hear you guys again. I think, last year we had really good success in the wild card round, picking the Eagles and the Chiefs right off the bat. That was a little easier. Fast forward to this year, wow. Like, they made this really impossible. And to be honest, this video is more to just show these unique connections between Larry Hagman and Tom Brady. Larry Hagman and Tom Brady. All right. Yeah, exactly. Slick Nick. It's crazy. It's just like, it went from, I take the Chiefs for granted now. The Chiefs looking, they were nice. You always knew they'd be there. And they were always like, all right, AFC Championship, we got that. Yeah, this is great. We're going to talk about these narratives. And I'm really glad you are here, because I want you guys to pick your guys' brain here. I'm going to wait 30 more seconds and we'll get into our slides for the day. As you can see, title of this is called Project Red Zone. Project Red Zone, time travel, football theme. I have it titled Legends Don't Age, They Rebrand. And we're going to talk about two legends here. We're going to talk about two legends. One you may know, you will know, Tom Brady, right? We know who that guy is by now, at least. All right. Let me get, again, I'm still, bear with me. This might be, can you guys see the screen okay? Give me a thumbs up or something like you are. I think we're good. Can you see the slides okay? I guess I'll zoom in when I need to do a better one. All right. Without further ado, let's just dive in. All right. First slide here. So we're going to talk about Larry Hagman and the GOAT Tom Brady, right? So as you can see from the visual that I posted about 30, 40 minutes ago, these guys look incredibly alike. They even dress alike. Similar facial features. I think it's one of those, the fittest flat earther found this a long time, like maybe a year. I want to give credit where credit is due, maybe like 6 months ago. And it got me thinking about, okay, if he found this, what gematria or numbers can we find that can connect these two? Because if he found that, there's got to be some unique connections to it, right? So let's see. We got this here. All right, I'm going to zoom back in. As you guys know, 106th season. This is all really basic information. I don't have to do too much gematria. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, 106, right? Right up, just that in itself, it has to be involved with this guy. But how? The question is how, because he could be involved in so many different ways, with the Patriots in it, with the Niners in it. Now, the question is, and I think the hardest one is like, with this, we got to talk about WWE a little bit with John Cena, right? Did he help push young stars or young talent, or did he not, right? He didn't really do that, right? So I don't know if Brady's pushing young stars. as much, so there's that WWE component that you always have to think about as well. So let's dive in a little bit. When you look at his name, Larry Hagman, it looks like the Hangman, right? And I thought of, right off the bat, the 12th tarot. The 12th tarot card, of course, Brady was number 12. Larry Hagman, the name speaks for itself. We're going to talk about some really unique connections. Again, notice how he's upside down. Again, duality, he's a cross, right? He has a T, in a T shape in a figure 4. T is for the Thomas. Again, the Hanged Man, right? Looking at the world from a different perspective, right? So you could say he was looking at the world from a different perspective. So let's talk about Larry Hagman. For those who don't know, he was a actor in the 60s, 70s, 80s, best known for his role as J.R. Ewing in the show Dallas, right? He was this oil tycoon, and oil is in the news lately. So he played J.R. Ewing, which I thought was really interesting, especially with the Venezuela theme going on and the oil and the 9/11 connecting back to the 2025, 2001. We're going to talk all about that. I know you guys are chomping at the bit to get into that. I just want to see how we're doing in the chat here. I think we got a few of us. Okay, we got about, 4 or 5 of us going. That's good. Again, bear with me, guys. I'm very new to this. I'm nothing like Cody or those other guys that have a lot going on, but we're going to keep going, talk about the Hangman as we go. So I think this is interesting. I'm going to throw in some incredibly random slides too as we go along. So just be prepared for anything. This video is just to show you the neat connections, and it's going to be a slow build, but we're going to eventually get there. Again, his mother, the Mother Mary, Mother Mary, the Jesus Christ lunation, 1275 is going to be during the Super Bowl 60, right? Of course, Jesus Christ, 1275 in Latin. Mary is his mother, which I thought was interesting. There's a picture of them here in San Francisco. And he actually has a lot of ties to San Francisco. There's a couple shows we're going to talk about as well. So San Francisco, Dallas, right? San Francisco is 49. Also Dallas, the word Dallas, 49, 13. Again, it kind of looks like, Marty, Martin, Mary, Mary, Marty, McFly, things of that nature. I think this is accidentally got here, but this will tie in toward the end here. I don't know if you guys knew this, but with Biff Tannen, obviously, you guys are probably aware of all the connections to Back to the Future with this one, with the 60 code and it being about time, 24 hours in a day. So it has to connect in some ways to it. I just thought it was interesting that, the phrase bull, ox, Biff derived from Old French is bull or ox, right? Of course, you have the Texans in it, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Texans. They may, they're always at this point, right? And they have the star. And the star is going to be unique. Again, the Patriots. This is why I actually brought this video up, is because the Patriots are playing the Texans, right? So the Texans, known for the Republic. You could argue that the Texans are almost the original, kind of the original archetype of the Pathros, right? The land of Egypt, right? If you go back into that. So they're kind of the original of that. We're going to talk a little bit about the bull ox with Biff here. But this is where it gets good, right? So this is where this all kind of comes together. So the 94 and the 49. So I thought this was pretty crazy. So we're just going to look at these basic gematries here. So Hagman and Brady, 94 and 49, right? Their first names, Larry and Tom, in the reverse and reverse reduction are 94 and 49. And of course, the reason I bring all of this up is because Brady is going to be turning 49 years old. Again, Larry Hagman died in 2012, but if he were alive today, he would be 94 years old currently. And this is where that bridge kind of connects, again, with the Golden Gate Bridge connection here. So we will examine the birthdays of them all as this, comes up for this Super Bowl here. So it might be a little hard to read, but his main character in the show, J.R. Ewing, J.R. stands for John Ross, right? So it has the exact match between that and Tom Brady in the reverse and in the Ordinal, right? So the iconic villainous oil tycoon, aka J.R. Ewing, portrayed by Larry Hagman. And notice there's the star symbolism. He's a Texan, right? So known for being like a Cowboys fan. Again, the star. Again, the star is the pentagram, the hexagram connected, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, yeah. So as you can see, the Magine Gematria right off the bat is pretty unique in this. This is his character, just like this is his character, right? Let's play on words here. So here we go. This is what first got me, was when I knew this earlier. I think I knew this. So Hagman's birthday is September 21st, 1931, right? I just want to check in to see how you guys are doing. All right, here we go. Check in to see 42 is superior with this year's Super Bowl, to be honest. 28th composite. Okay, yeah, I like it. Thanks, Dish, for that. 42 is superior with this year's. Yeah, the composite number is very good. Yeah, I think that, and again, the Niners get their 42nd postseason win all time. Again, no one's really talking about them either. Again, they're a dark horse, but again, I think it's on purpose. And all, I mean, again, could they win it? Again, I'm not. I learned from last year. I don't want to make a definitive pick, because that's where you're like, oh yeah, I was sure it was the Chiefs, and I was sure it was the Packers, and I was like, okay, but that's great. I love that. Yeah, the composite numbers are very important as well. Great catch. So this was a span. His birthday, from Hagman's birthday to Brady's birthday, is 45 years and 316 days. Again, so John 3:16, for God so loved, gave his only son. Very popular verse. Again, Tim Tebow. And again, Bridge is 45. We know that. I don't have to show you guys that. You guys are all pretty smart in the gematria community here. But again, I noticed that the 316 was the score of that game. And again, for the Back to the Future reference, again, it's the lightning bolt that charges, in my opinion, the DeLorean, right? So my theory is the Patriots represent the DeLorean, and they were getting charged up again by the Chargers, right? So the DeLorean, in a lot of ways, because it has the silver, right? And this, the red represents the DeLorean speeding off, right? So right off the bat, you have 45, 316, and their birthdays that separate, right? See how we're doing so far. Everything. Super Bowl 60 on 8-2. Let's keep going. All right. Well, okay, so the 49-94 connection continued on the date of Super Bowl LX. Larry Hagman will be 94 years old in 140 days. Now, this is where we get there. So notice Brady is going on his 49th year, the bridge, right? So here we go. Okay, this is where it is. This. If there's any slide you haven't seen yet, this is the one you need to see. So Tom Brady will turn 49 years old this year. Okay, and again, it just happens to be at the 49ers stadium, right? Well, would you know it, that their birthdays are separated by 49 days, right? So for 49 days, Larry Hagman and Tom Brady will share that 94-49, anagram, if you will. Because the 9 and the 4, it's the same thing, just like numbers. It's anagrams and numbers work the same. So I think this is a really good, unique connection between Brady and Hagman. And again, notice it was on the day of the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I think I'm going to cover that just a little bit as well. His birthday was the day of that silly celebration, right? It wasn't a memorial. It was more like a celebration. Kirk had like fireworks shooting off, and it was chaos. It was interesting, so it's at the State Farm Stadium, so this was the most unique connection here I found, was that, come on, like for 49 days, they're going to share that 94-49 connection, right? So I thought that was very interesting. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. I think, they do this sometimes. They make it very subtle. And again, there's a lot of great narratives out there. I'm going to pause on this just because I think this would be a good time to kind of just chat a little bit about the narratives that I've heard. I've heard a lot about, a lot of people in the Gematria community have like, the Rams, with Matthew Stafford. And if we play that same game about, okay, if Tom Brady is looking like Larry Hagman, then, Matthew Stafford could easily look like Elon Musk, right? Let's just call a spade, right? That could easily be Elon Musk playing football and quarterback for the Rams, right? And I thought it was funny is, Elon Musk's mother's name is May, right? Spelled exactly the same way. Drake May, Maye. So I always thought that was weird that they were, Matthew was chasing his mother, during the MVP race. I was just like, I see Elon Musk and Matthew Stafford. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping, but it's 2026. Nothing's too crazy these days. So yeah, this is the main connection so far that we got going. The 49 connection. So we got Super Bowl 42 was Brady versus lowest seed. I mean, that's like Pats Niners. It feels a little far fetched, right? I don't see a reason why they don't tease it though. I would go as far as to say as Pats and Niners could win these games in the divisional round. And this brings me to another great point is that I've learned that the final four teams have to have narratives for the next week. So this discussion will continue. Like what discussions could continue for next week? And again, I think it's all about just thinking we all could be right. But they're only gonna pull the plug on certain things. Pats 49ers, again, that's a insane tribute matchup with the tribute to like they could put the 4 in there just to tease it. Again, it is going to be the 250th anniversary of the United States this year. So you have the 25 within the 25, which is 25 years since 9/11 coming up. And then you have the 250th year anniversary or the Jubilee, if you will, of the United States. So that's why that's interesting. And again, Patriots, right? You look at their record, it's the record, they would have 12 appearances, 7 wins. And if they win, that's 7. And if they lose, it's 5. So you have the 1275 Lou Nation connection. Again, buildings 1, 2, and 7 were the ones that fell on 9/11. And again, this is about time. Again, Patriots speculating again, can Drake May, is it enough? Are they going to allow him to? So if you think of it as a trilogy, Hagman, Brady, May, there's that hierarchy that exists in each like film, right? So you have the villain Hagman. He literally played a villain in J.R. Ewing. And then you have Brady, the hero. And now Drake May represents kind of the quintessential heir to the throne of this trilogy of people, if you will. So he's stability. He doesn't have to do anything crazy because he already has the control in his power, right? That's why he's quiet. That's why he doesn't say much. That's why he's very reserved, because he represents, in my opinion, the third coming of Tom Brady, right? He's just, let's be honest, he cloned his dog. Who says he can't clone himself, right? Like, I even heard he may have cloned himself, but anyway, getting a little off topic here, but that's okay. I've learned getting off topic can be fun at times and adds for nice dialogue. So this is just some side notes here, kind of talking about that Charlie Kirk, memorial. Again, the fireworks are shooting off. Memorial service of Charlie Kirk in Chaldean, 94. Of course, this would have been the 94th birthday of Larry Hagman, in a football stadium, no less. And again, didn't Brady win the Super Bowl in this stadium? I just thought of that. I didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the chat. I think Brady won, was it 48 or 49? 49, yeah. Oh, shit. Interesting. I just found that out. Yeah, I think Super Bowl 49 was the one he beat the Seahawks, right? I think he beat the Seahawks in the State Farm Stadium. So, and then Arizona Cardinals 921, right? Again, there's the Fibonacci That's why they were at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium on that day. So it was a celebration, not really a mourning of Charlie Kirk, right? Again, there's a million things we've said about Charlie Kirk that have not already been said, so I think I'll spare you guys on that. So I just thought that was a unique piece. Um, this brings us to the 94 NFL season, which, the 49ers won, right? So in the year 94 was the 49ers' last, you know, Super Bowl, which is why I'm bringing you to this conclusion for you to kind of like just think of it for yourself. Like, okay, 1994, the 49ers won. And now this year, one one guy can look like the other guy. They're going to be the same age. The bridge aspect, right? And notice the diamond, right? The word diamond, I believe, equals 60. There's a diamond in here again to represent the 75th anniversary of this, which went to the Niners, right? I think Steve Young led the Niners to the Super Bowl here. So this is the 94 connection and the 49. Yeah, anybody have anything else to add to that as well? If not, I'll just kind of keep going through my slides here, and then we'll just keep going. Yeah, both seasons started on the same date. Really? Oh shit! Yeah, good, nice. I didn't like some of the shit I just put in there. I didn't even. Wow, nice. Yeah, the beginning, right? It comes back to the start. Oh shit, interesting. It started on the same day. The lightning strike, right? It could be the represent again the lightning delay in the Eagles game, 2024. 44 points scored. The 444. Yeah, it did start on that day. That's crazy. Again, so it could be coming like a full circle moment. I believe this was Super Bowl 29, which is 31 years ago. And again, California is the 31st state. 11 going. We talk about Janice a lot. The 11 connection. Brady has, that 11 connection as well with, I believe, multiple. Like played the Rams twice. He won and lost. Right. He's 1-1. So he has a lot of. No. I'm sorry. Against the. Who did he win? The Eagles. The Eagles. Right. All right. Bracket itself here looks like. All right. So right off the bat, I think you already can see it. I noticed that all the numbers are the same. 1625. It's a carbon copy. Right off the bat here. So do they do it again? My first instinct would be like, hey, do they put a 1 seed, then a 2, and then a 6, and then a 5? Like that, could be clever there. So if we add up all this, there's a 7, 7, 7, and 7. And then again, 7 times 7 is 49, right? So, and again, of course, the 6 seed. Again, there's been a lot of hype with the Buffalo Bills, right? I don't, I respect all the people that like them. It doesn't mean it's not their, it could be them, you know what I mean? Like, but my main question that I've asked myself a lot is that, okay, if they win this year, will you bet them again next year? I want to see in the chat if you would do that. I don't know if you would. That NFL symbol reminds me of the NBA's 75th anniversary diamond season where the Warriors beat Boston. Ha! Wow. Man, see, this is why I need to do these live streams. You guys are great. You guys have some really good commentary. 4-2. Shoot. Man, they did, right? That was the Steph Curry MVP year. Wow. Steph Curry's career reminds me a lot of what Patrick Mahomes is going to be. I think that's his destiny. Didn't Curry win like 3 and then yeah, that's great. I think that's awesome. Yeah, the diamond season. Yeah, they did do that. They didn't remember they had that whole thing. I would not be surprised, right? Because a lot of the attention is. I want to speak on the Bears' behalf for a moment, if I will. Let's just call it like it is. I believe the Bears are like the Commanders last year. Good story, feel good story, good momentum. They have the 40, which is the Ruby Jubilee. Yeah, Moon Man, Bears, Pats. Hey, this is an open forum. I'm not here to claim I know everything because I don't know shit. This is why I have you guys here to add this great commentary, because I think this is how we learn. This is how we grow in this understanding, because I think this is the most, they finally made it compelling again, right? They finally made it like, okay, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, has been dethroned. No more Taylor Swift for a moment. Let's just chill out on that. Bears Pats has nostalgia. Again, 1985. 1985. I don't know if you guys saw that original video I made back in 2024 where I stated that Caleb Williams had some good connections to the upcoming Super Bowl. And I don't want to back out on that because I still believe, again, they got this far. So I put a future in them to win for them. If you go back, somebody go back right now. I don't know if you can, but they're in the beginning of the season. I saw that the 2005 Bears are the exact same as the 2025 Bears. I don't know. I was following that trend all year, and I won a lot of games because they were playing the exact same thing. The only difference was there was one less game. So game for game, they were mirroring that exact outcome, right? The exact outcome. So go into it. I swear it's crazy. So I put a bet in for them to win over, I think it was 11 games this year. So they won 12, and I think in that season that's what they did. So again, the Bears have a lot of connections to Mercury. They finished. I don't know if I have. I don't know if you guys can see my screen here. Can you see this at all? I don't know if you can. Anyway, Mercury 798. 798 for Mercury. That's important because I still don't know how to share these other screens, and I'll figure it out. Yeah, I figured. I don't know how to do it yet, so I'm just gonna. Sorry, it's not as exciting. I'm gonna figure this out as I go. So I'm sure I just got this the other day. So anyway, the 798 was the amount of wins the Bears had to start the season, and the word Mercury in Latin Jewish gematria is 798. And again, they have the bean, right? Bears win after 40 years would be a 2 versus 2 matchup from seeding perspective. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bears, Pats. I mean, it's got great potential. It's got high ticket volume. Let me just say, Caleb Williams is a great actor. We can't. He's a little questionable in his antics, but he's a great actor. He sells all the freaking plays. He's just super, over the top in his reactions, right? That's what they look for, right? That's his character. That's what it's meant to be. Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams, right? What's his middle name? What is it? It has to do with Peyton Manning, right? It's what is it? Like Super Bowl 42, Brady lost to number 1 pick Manning. Damn, Caleb. Yeah. Shit. Brady. Yeah. Okay. I like it. See, we're learning a lot here. This is good stuff. I think if Bills win this year, Bears next year, it would be 41 years. 41, 18. Yeah, the 18 has been really intense this year, man. I think. And they've set us up for this incredible 18. And, some people are like, hey, you might want to fade that. And it's like a little bit hard to ignore. I don't know if I can, at this time. Oh, shit. This is a good one. Here we go. Let's move on to this. This is what I noticed. Check this out. So, this is a carbon copy of the 2021 season, the one where the Bengals and the Rams went. And check this out on the center screen. You got San Francisco in their wild card game against Dallas. They scored 23 points. And then the Rams scored 34 points. And just this year, look at what we got. We got 49ers 23, and we got the Rams at 34 again. Notice the Panthers' opponent in Arizona, right there. This connects the Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk, 31. The idea is 31. And then the 11, right? So that's 31 is the 11th prime. They scored 11 points, Arizona. So I don't think that's a coincidence that these two played this game. The Rams scored 34 points. And both of them, the Niners scored 23. When do you know it? They're a 6 seed. The Rams are just simply a 5 seed. And here we are. And look who won here. The Bucks with 31 points. And didn't the Bears score 31 points in that game? Let me see if you understand. Did the Bears score 31 points in their win against Green Bay? I think they did. I think they might have. Yeah, I think they won 31-27. Let's see if I can. Yeah, but look at that. Isn't that crazy though? So look at that. So it looks like they're going to go play Seattle. Green Bay was the number 1 seed. So San Francisco is going to go play Seattle. And look, both underdogs won. The higher seeds. Both of them won. And the Rams went on to go into their home stadium. So, did they flip it? Because right now, what's going to sell the most is, in my opinion, Niners versus Rams. And if you look at the odds right now, you'll notice that the Seahawks and Rams kind of share the top spot. So it's kind of like a divide and conquer type of scenario where you would want to keep one around and you would want to get rid of one. So now you're left with the decision. But now, do you skim the head off of both of them and leave the Bears and the Niners? That's a valid point. Anybody know that, have any thoughts on that? This is the one observation I found that I thought was cool with this. Then, with the Texans, again, divisional round, it seems to always be where they go. Let's keep going here. Let's see what else I have. And then, okay, so this is another thing I wanted to touch base on is the code, right? So time is the biggest predictor of this entire riddle. There's no doubt. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours a day. If you go in, treat this like hours, right? I think Super Bowl 12 was Denver and Dallas. Super Bowl 24, the 24 code, we're going to talk about the 24 code, featured Denver and San Francisco. And again, Denver and San Francisco recently have had a lot of power outages. This is EMP Stadium. San Francisco had that blackout, and they were in the blackout bowl. So you got to think of big themes too. We can't just be, Matt Stafford equals 226 and 82, and they have 664 wins, and it's like, you just gotta consider everything. Big themes matter, right? It's the year of the fire horse coming up. The last fire horse was in 1966, right? The year of the founding of that church. The thing. Joe Biden, the thing. So yeah, I mean, 24. This is also the year Back to the Future, right? So it's like, could it be the year Marty returns, right? He comes back, right? 36 years later, could that signify him crossing back over? Again, their numbers are good because this would both be their 9th appearance. That's pretty crazy, in my opinion. So I mean, you have one could be 3-6, the other could be 6-3. One could be 4-5. There could be 5-4. So there's that scenario. I mean, they play San Francisco. I know they play in San Francisco. I'm not saying, I always, it's going to be their 66 playoff game coming up again. You think third time a 6 seed team wins? Yeah, I mean, that's the unique thing about it is it Bills? Bills 6 seed. Then you got, San Francisco's a 6 seed, which I think is pretty crazy. They surely teed that up nicely, didn't they? And then, of course, So you notice every 12 years is the horse year. So every horse year is very interesting, and all these teams remain. Notice that. Every year, every 12 years, the teams of the 8 remain. Super Bowl 12, the exception is Dallas, right? I didn't put that in there. It was Dallas and Denver, I believe. Super Bowl 48, Denver and Seattle. Oh, I'm ahead of myself there. Denver and Seattle. So that was that reminds me. That brings me to the point of they were in New York, right? That's the year that they were in New York. Seattle, I believe, was called New York, if I'm not mistaken, right? Again, Seattle versus Denver. Oh, shoot. I wish I had this other. I don't think I have it. Let me see if I can find. I might have another slide somewhere. I just don't know. Let me see if I can find. See, 1 second. All right. I don't know what this is. Is there anything in here? All right. Did I write anything in this? Hold on. Let me check this real quick. No, this is my one I did not. I'm just going to keep checking this real quick. Sorry. I'm just going to keep looking. I don't know if I made a different slide. Like I did eventually. I think I created a different slide. A different. See if I. No, this isn't it. Darn. One more chance. Let me see if this is in there. But yeah, shout out to you guys for adding great feedback. I think this is how we figure things out. I mean, this is a collective effort, as always. I don't claim to know too much, and with the help of everybody, we can figure things out together. This is nope. Okay, can't find it. That's okay. We'll continue on. But yeah, what I was trying to say with Denver and Seattle, they played in New York. Again, the Twin Towers connection. The score was 43-8. I wish I had this because very important with Elvis, right? So let's talk about Elvis real quick. Levi's Stadium, Elvis. He had a twin that died at birth named Jesse. And of course, Elvis was born on 1-8 in the year 1935. So again, Peyton Manning has a video. There's somebody, I had another slide I just can't find, but Peyton Manning, if you go into type in like Peyton Manning Elvis tribute, right? Again, that's why he won the game in Levi's Stadium. He dressed up as Elvis, played football with these kids, and where Elvis grew up and whatnot. Anyway, it talks a lot about Elvis connection. It got me thinking. The score of that game, Denver and Seattle, was 43-8. Now, Elvis was born on the 8th day, and 35 plus 8 is 43, which is how and why that game was connected. The twins, right? Because of the Twin Towers. The twin beams of the Golden Gate may have some symbolism there. So we can't rule out Denver and Seattle either because they have that Twin Towers connection with Elvis and his twin brother Jesse. So the gist of them is Elvis is the sun and Jesse is the moon because Elvis is the one that is seen. Jesse was the stillborn that was not born or seen. So he died at birth, hence the eclipse, right? So a lot of symbolism there with that. But it's a really cool, unique connection with Elvis, Levi's. I know I saw a lot of people talking about Levi's straws, and I don't know too much about that. I think, again, the Bills, circle the wagons. They make it there. Let's see if we can keep going. This is interesting. This guy, check him out. It's Jane 108 Mathematics, right? This guy's got this insane Fibonacci 60 code. I encourage you to go watch it. there's no way in hell I could describe what he's trying to say, but from the looks of it, it shows how the 60 code pathway is about re-entry. It re-shows itself, right? So how does something re-enter after 60? It's kind of like a clock re-enters after 60 seconds to the beginning digit, the beginning to the end. So go check this guy out. Super fascinating stuff. There's a pentagon inside of a hexagon. So he has this subdigit 10 he uses. So again, that's why I think there has to be a quarterback with the number 10 in the game for this to occur. So that's why I like Broncos or Pats, because I feel like one of them has to exist in order for this subdigit 10 to exist, right? But go check it out. He goes into detail about the Fibonacci 60 code. He talks about how the 24 and the 60 are intertwined with each other. And that's where it got me thinking about, the Broncos and potentially the Niners. So this brings me back to it. Again, if you look at it, Broncos, 49ers all time, they have the 88 connection. Again, the 88 miles an hour, right? Mercury theme on that. So I think that's a pretty unique connection in itself there. So yeah, I mean, Tom Brady, 98 as well. And one of the teams has to win, right? So one of them will be 9-8. We don't know which one. So again, the Sean Payton connection, Walter Payton for the Bears as well. If you go back in time from the death of Walter Payton to the day of the Super Bowl, is 26 years and 99 days. And again, he died in 99. And of course, this will be the 26th year of his death. So it's that flip again. So we can't discredit them either. Hello, can you hear me? All right, perfect. So yeah, that was another unique connection here. They have the 16 and the 7. That's Super Bowl LX equals 16-7. Montana. So if it's Broncos versus Niners, they contribute the 1 and the 6 seed. Again, Marty goes home is the theme there. 24 code, 60 code, all in one. Again, these are theories. These aren't anything to write home about. It's just more like, hey, what are you thinking? I just threw this in there. I just thought it was funny. Remember going back to Biff being the ox or the bull? That scene, it reminded me of the scene at the end of the movie where, I'll shoot infomercial on the YouTube. Whoops. Skip that. All right. So yeah, so notice back in the, so that fight scene at the end, he's got that bulletproof vest on. Biff, meaning bull ox, versus Marty, right? Marty McFly looks a lot like Brock Purdy. I don't know. He looks a lot like Brock Purdy. Tell me I'm wrong. I've always thought that. I always was like, this guy, he's got 4 or 5 letters: Brock, Marty, McFly, Purdy, 5 letters. Kind of does those awkward touchdown dances. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But anyway, notice today the Niners and the Texans played. Again, the Bull, right, was on the original Back to the Future day this year. October 26, 1985, foundational date in Back to the Future. When Marty first time travels through time. Again, these are both the very longest shots of them all, right? I just thought I'd mention. These are like honorable mentions because I think everything's worth a hedge. So maybe just tier the hedges in which you have to guarantee yourself to win, because I think it's smart to do so. Yeah, anybody else have anything else to add to this? I think oh, here's my preseason, guys. Check it out. My preseason pick. This is placed back in June 19th. I had the Bills and the Rams 50-1. Yes, I have the proof here. But I'm actually kind of glad this is kind of just hanging on. I don't love it anymore, but I mean, it's good to have, if this indeed, this is, my theory was these two teams played on the opener of 2022. on the day of the Queen's death, right? So the death of the Queen, these two teams played. They scored 41 points. Exactly 41, I believe 41 months later is the Super Bowl. So, I mean, that was my preseason prediction. It's not looking too bad, but will it survive this weekend? We shall see. We shall see. Super Bowl 49, going back to that unfinished business, right? Could it be unfinished business? Super Bowl 49, again, this took place in the Cardinal Stadium. The Charlie Kirk Memorial with Larry Hagman. Could it be a sign, right, of the Super Bowl 49? Again, it was 11 years, 7 days, 7-11 theme. The Butler did it at the interception at the end there. Yeah, I don't know. Conclusions. I think, I don't know if I meant it just right. All narratives fit Patriots season, especially the 250th anniversary of the USA. That's the end of my slides per se. I just wanted to go back a little bit and kind of hear your thoughts. Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. I appreciate all the dialogue you guys provided today. That was great. I had a lot of fun doing this. So I'll try to do these more. Hopefully I have a little more time. We can a little bit more deeper into these discussions. So let's play. All right, let's go with the picks, right? All right. I feel like let's roll. So Broncos Bills, of course, is the first game. It's the hardest one, right? Again, my head says, Broncos. My heart says Bills, right? Again, this will tell us a lot, in my opinion, of where everything will go. So I'm glad it's first. God. Broncos are on 5-5 wins all time. Does that stand? God. I'm going to come back to that. I can't do it. Patriots, Texans. God. I feel like it'd be a crime if the Patriots don't at least go to the AFC Championship game. I feel like it would be just a disservice. So I have to, they could do somewhere it's Patriots money line, Texans cover. That could be a sneaky cover. Patriots win, Texans cover. Might be something like that. Seahawks, 49ers. This one is interesting as well. I'm not going to lie. These are all difficult. I would not recommend putting too much on this just because they're super difficult. Again, the Seahawks. Every year there's been a new pope elected. The Seahawks have won. Okay, let's talk about how the Seahawks are 1-2 all time in Super Bowls. They're known as the 12th man. Does the 12 stand? I don't know. Maybe they get one more week. But the 49ers, man, it's their 66th postseason game all time. They win one more. They get 41. Going to LA. LA is 41. Want to give the Niners the upset? Anybody? Somebody chime in, please. I would like to hear anyone's input on these games because give me your best, prediction here because I like Seahawks are either going to stomp them out or the Niners are going to stomp them out. I don't see anywhere in between. This Bears and Rams game, that's why it's last, right? Again, according to that chart, I mean, you would say it had to be, again, according to this chart, it's like, or does it go the opposite? They want you to see that, right? Which way does it go? Right? But according to that chart, it's pretty good. So, I want the Rams out. Niners and Bears will be a dope MSC championship game. I'm not gonna lie. Seahawks tangoing with the Bears, doesn't fit. Doesn't look as great. Bears tango with either of these Bears with Niners looks better. Rams with either. It's just their divisional opponent, right? Rams with Niners looks better than. I think the Seahawks thing. I think it would be interesting if the Seahawks win because if Seahawks win, then more than likely, probably the Rams. But if the Niners win, this is game on. So we'll know. The Niners win, this is game on. It's anybody's game. But if the Seahawks win, God, I would have to favor the Rams, even though Bears have the Pope and the Pope-elect narrative, right? So 131 days, Super Bowl championship 131. What was the one? Oh, do you remember the actor Joshua Allen died at 36? He died during week 4 NFL. It was so called So You Think You Can Dance. From that guy's death. Jesus. So the playoffs was the Super Bowl 56 this year. This modern era 50. Oh shit. Dang. Good call there, Dish. Dang. Yeah, you're right. The modern era. So are we gonna get the modern replica? Does that mean Rams all the way versus who's the 4 seed? The 4 seed's no longer here. The Rams, I mean, shit, that Rams Bills isn't looking too bad, but that's just who would it be? I mean, Rams Bills be a good game. But yeah, that's a crazy stat there. So you think you can dance 106? Huh. Interesting. 131 days championship 131. So yeah, I think yeah. Super Bowl this year, modern era 56 had the same scores just like you said, yeah. But yeah, I think it's yeah, all these unique findings we had, I think the 94 season with the 49, there's got to be something there. That's just not nothing. They've waited their whole entire, Brady didn't even exist in 94. And now this is like the culmination of the hard work, right? It's the quintessential trifecta, the trilogy crescendo of the work. Again, it all could be for Rams and Patriots, right? The trilogy, right? The word trilogy, 666, the Rams would be on 666 wins, time clock 666. I gotta stop saying that. Again, we're just going back a review. Again, this is what stood out to me. This is what prompted me to make the video. Again, the Texan, Larry Hagman, for those who are just coming in. Larry Hagman, John Ross, J.R. Ewing, the show Dallas. Again, Brady's career died in Dallas. 118-98. So, again, Patriots equal 118. Again, I just think Hagman, Brady, 94-49. I don't think that's Larry and Tom. Just freaking Larry and Tom, 94-49. Can you believe that? Like, what? It's crazy. Again, just wanted to reiterate all this. Again, 106 season. I think this is about 50 minutes in, guys. I just wanted to close out with that today, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping in, sharing your 2 cents. I know I didn't really make, Mahomes lost Super Bowl. Oh, shit. Wait. Dang. This is great. Dish should be spitting fire today. Look at that. Super Bowl 55, Mahomes lost Super Bowl, and 59 is modern era 55. So he lost. Dang. That's right. That's some crazy work right there. Does that mean it repeats again? And yeah, the Chiefs won Super Bowl 4, which is even more crazy with what you're saying because there's a 4-year gap. Again, the word Chiefs equals 50. I mean, crazy. Mahomes lost to Brady. Mahomes lost to Hurts. Modern era. So this is modern era 56 then, right? Is that correct? Yeah. So we are it's the 56th day of the year, so that's interesting to know. You got to think of the McVay connection to the 49ers dynasty, right? Yep. 49ers dynasty led by grandfather Clock. Grandfather Clock McVay, his son Sean. Could be that. The father-son connection. Again, the father-son is also 106. I thought that was interesting. The word father-son, prophecy 106. Trilogy 106. So the McVay prophecy fulfilled. It'll be their third in 33. But I mean, if you're saying what it's saying right here with that, I like what you're saying with the 55. Mahomes lost. 59 is just the repeating. So with 56 on the horizon, again, it's just the Eye of Horus, I think, is 56. Again, the Seahawks is the Eye of Horus symbol. It's just kind of hidden in there. We don't really think of it. But the Seahawk is the Eye of Horus. Eye of Ra. Sirius, sun god. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think of all this. I think, again, you guys had some great dialogue. I think we'll find out tomorrow. Again, first game, Broncos, Bills. The Bills. Again, I was thinking too about how does it tie into the XRP? Oh, yeah. Damn. Shit. So we're saying we're right? Damn. Did we really get a preseason one right? And I don't even want it to be right in some ways. Damn. Did we really get this right? Damn. Is it really? See, that's what happens, right? You feel different at the beginning of the year than you do now. And I'm wondering if all the distractions that are placed in between then and now are on purpose to make you feel the way I am right now. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to hedge, of course. I'm not going to just, that's our preseason. I think that's when I just signed up for the DraftKings app. You get the DraftKings, you sign up for you get 6 free picks. And I picked, one of them was, I picked the Brewers to reach the NLCS. I used that one for the other one. So that was another great one. And they got absolutely destroyed by the Dodgers. I, of course, had them winning the NL. So that was a nice double up there. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you say that future's looking good, then I trust that, I mean, the 5 and the 6, you're right. There's the 11. That's a great matchup, too. I mean, you have the Venezuelan flag colors as well. Again, this is just my preseason pick, though. Again, I'm not sold on anything, so, but I appreciate that. I like to show my picks. I don't like to say, "Oh, I did that this day back then." Some people will be like, "Oh yeah, I had that. Yeah, that was me." So, but I don't like to pick. I kind of want this to happen now, just so I don't have to worry about who wins, because that's the worst part. I'd rather just get the payout before before it happens. The 2 weeks is the worst in between. They make you sweat it out, and you hear so much constant chatter, and you're like, "Oh my god." So perfect. Yeah, I agree, Dish. Again, thanks for all the dialogue. You guys did really well. Thanks for so much. I'm gonna look forward to do this again. I'm gonna actually end it. We're about at that hour now. So again, Project Red Zone. Again, the connections with Tom Brady, right? Again, what does it mean? The Steinfeld is. It will be her 60th day of her age on the 60th. She was wearing the 49ers jersey, right? If that's who will happen. Okay. Yeah. I mean, how does the 49 connect is the question, right? Because it could, yeah. OJ Simpson. I know orange equals 60. I mean, OJ Simpson equals 60? Okay. Yeah, I mean, the OJ Simpson has been a long time coming. Yeah, he was wearing the glove. That's crazy. He was wearing the glove and the Eagles are out. Or is it a plot twist? Josh Allen wearing the glove during the season. He's wearing the other one. Is he the killer? But yeah, I don't know. Josh Allen looks like, what's that guy's name from the Avengers? Chris Pratt. Bam. Chris Pratt. Josh Allen. That's him. I think that's him. Arnold Schwarzenegger connection. Again, it would make sense. L.A. Brady. I call him L.A. Brady now. He's Hollywood again. He's no longer the underdog. He is the top dog. So, yeah, we're about an hour now. It's been great talking with you guys. Thanks for all the insight. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Good luck with your picks, and Double Check FX Sports Code coming at you. And I will see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Peace. You're welcome.